Recently I made a music video to a song called Shy Kids, I Feel Like a Failure. And I kind of like the way that it kind of like all turned out together, and I really wanted to make a video on how to film your own kind of music video on a budget, because that video I kind of filmed all on a budget, and I literally bought all the confetti, all the hats, I hired out the location, I pretty much did everything on a budget. And I thought this video would be really helpful for anyone who also wants to make their own kind of music video style for themselves. Let's get into the video! I still don't know how to talk to a camera properly. So the first step is to find a location, and a lot of the times, like, even if you want to do just like a simple video, you don't even have to have like, you know, a really dope location or anything, because that video was literally filmed in just a random side of like a hall. It's kind of like the way I filmed it, I tried to make it like as sort of music video makey style as like possible. When you're kind of creating on a budget, you don't really have like a whole film set to film your stuff. So instead you have to kind of use what you have and like use it to your advantage. And I've found out that kind of like a lot of videos that I've made, it's more about the way you film it, and in the actual video it looks really like cool, kind of like the way I filmed it, and a lot of the time it's more like the way you film it to trying to make it more climactic. Like for example, I kind of use like low shots, high shots. I kind of was really creative with like my limitations that I had. Like for example, I'd like rest my camera on like a table, which is how I got the table shot. And then for like some shots I also had a tripod. But even if you don't have like the best location, you can literally just like use literally what you have and try to make like the most out of it, which is kind of what I did. I'll show you like just a raw photo of like the actual location I used. I got this one shot where like I put my camera like behind like where like the door would open, and then you kind of have like the two sections of like where the door was, and then you have like the main subject, which was kind of me, and then I kind of made a mess in that whole video. Like I have all like the raw behind the scenes footage, and it kind of looks,
not gonna lie to you, it looks like a mess. So I had fun making a mess in that video anyway.
But I kind of like wanted that video to kind of like tell the story of the way that I felt, kind of like making pain out of art, making art out of pain. And I really liked the way that the video kind of turned out and how it all came together with editing. And it was also about like kind of like when you're making a music video, also kind of like to try and like match the vibe and like the energy with like the way what I'm like the message that I'm trying to send to like the audience,
which is like the viewer who's like watching it.
What you really need is just like your imagination, a camera, or your phone, and a good idea, and try and like use everything you have to the best of your abilities to try and make your vision come to life, which is kind of what I've been doing for quite a while now. And the most scary thing about when you're creating like a creative project is the fact that like you never know how that project is going to turn out until you actually just do it. Like hiring a location, like buying all the supplies for it, and kind of like making my own little music video out of it. Once you've found a location, the second step is to buy all your supplies. Most of the time music videos, it depends what kind of music video you're kind of shooting or you're doing, but for me, my vision was kind of like confetti, party vibes.
And I spent like money on the confetti, and I spent money on like the hats, and I basically made the cake as well. And I wrote like failure with like red icing to like portray the kind of storyline of it all.
And yeah, so that's kind of the second step. Third step would be to plan a date to shoot the video. Whenever you want to do it, you can do it. And the fourth stage is to go to the location and shoot the video. And you basically press record, and then you start recording, and then you edit, and then you upload. And that's basically it. But when it comes to shooting, I would say try to get as many shots as possible, and try and get like an array of different shots, because you don't just want to shoot just like a few shots of kind of like the same thing. Or I think I've done this before, where like I would like shoot a bit of a video, and then I wouldn't have enough like footage to like put it all together, because like you don't just want to have just like 2 shots of like the same thing. You want to like try and get as many diverse shots as possible, and try to be like as creative as possible. So like with one shot I was just like lying on the floor, sprinkling confetti over my face, and then the next shot I was like throwing it up in the air. And I didn't actually have like a confetti like blowing machine or anything, I literally just threw it up in the air and it just came raining down on me. But I really like kind of effect that I gave and everything, and yeah, just tried to get as many shots as possible that kind of show what you're trying to portray in the video. And I also think about lighting as well. With me, for this video, I just used natural lighting. I didn't use like any fancy lights or anything. I literally just used the natural light which came from like the window of the room. And there's this one shot on the table where I was getting like me in my face with like the confetti, and I really liked that shot. I think it was one of my favourite, kind of like my dream shot, because in that shot you kind of saw like kind of the shine of like the light reflecting. So like the camera was faced towards the light, so on the table it was kind of like reflecting the light, which I thought was really cool. And I also got the other shot of me like by just like in front of like, there was like this piano in the room, and there was this one shot I got of me like literally just like in front of the piano. The camera was facing like towards the light, so it kind of got like a reflecting, like it kind of like it like shone down, like the light was like directly on the piano, on like the wood surfaces, which made it really cool. And I got another shot of me kind of like jumping up and down, and when that shot was kind of, I literally just rested the camera on like one of the cupboards. I was able to get this really cool shot, like the camera was facing the light, but it was kind of like a really dull scene. I think I like shut one of the curtains to kind of make it a bit darker for that shot. So when you're making your own music video, to sort of like make the story come to life. One minute I was like jumping up and down, like not given a F about like anything in life, and then like the next bit I was like really sad, like looking at the camera, like feeling really sad. So it kind of like showed all my like emotions when it came to feeling like a failure, because I feel like we can all feel like that sometimes. Like one minute like you can feel really happy about a project or something, and the next minute you can be like
terrified and be like, I don't want to do this anymore, I should quit. But never quit. Never quit.
And I also, with this video, I kind of shot it in like the scenes that I wanted it to as well. So I started off with making the cake, and then it progressed into like me
showing up to like my little party scene, and then from there went into getting icing and putting failure on it, and then I cut it, and then I put it on the plate, and then I kind of went crazy with the confetti and stuff. It was kind of cool.
If you shoot your video or your story in like the order you want to edit it, I can't say editing. If you shoot I'm so cringy. If you shoot your video the way you want to edit, in the order you want to edit it in, it makes it way more easier when it comes to editing, instead of like shooting them all in the wrong order and then thinking, oh my god, I do not know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, and like you get in a funk, and then you don't want to edit anything because it's in the wrong order, and you're like, oh my god, how did I get here? And you're like, I don't know how I got here because we be here. But yeah, also say another good tip is when you're editing, I've kind of found out that if you slow down the footage, it also makes it a little more filmmaky and a little bit more climatic. I don't know how to say that word, climatic. I don't know if that's a word, climatic, like
when something's like aesthetic.
Like, it kind of makes it look more like, it adds a little bit more emotion. So it kind of like adds more emotion to your story, I guess, when you're making a music video and you kind of like slow it down. So it's like you're slowing down time and you're making the audience feel a certain way. And when it comes to editing, I don't think there's really like not really any like rules when it comes to editing. Like, you should really edit your music video the way that you really want to, because it's your video and you've got to make it original and unique and special to you. It's like you're like expressing something out into the world that you feel, and I think that's really it. And you export it and upload it. I hope this video was helpful. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you so much, and bye. That's a wrap! Oh my god, I've now to clean up all this mess. Look how much mess there is.